If you look at a picture of a landscape, you see that there's a lot of variation in the color on hills and mountaintops. So we might see a modulation between grass and dirt and stone and some other things. So we don't want to just apply a plain old green color to the whole thing, or it'll look quite weird. So let's make our own landscape material by right-clicking in the My Stuff folder in a blank space, and then go to Create Basic Asset Material, and then we will call this my_landscape, and then we'll open this up. And what we need to do is right-click here and type in landscape, layer blend. Then, with this selected, we'll go over to the left panel and click on the plus button 2 times, because we're going to have a grass and a dirt layer. And let's expand these to make them bigger. We'll change the first layer name to grass. We'll change the second layer name to dirt. Okay, and then let's take this layer blend node here and press Ctrl W while it's selected to duplicate it. And then we'll plug one into the normal map on the bottom. We'll plug one into the base color on the top. We don't want our landscape to be really shiny, so let's hold down the 1 key and left click, and we'll plug this into roughness. And we'll set the roughness to 1 to be as rough as possible. And now we want to plug our texture nodes in, so I'll hold down T and left click. And then let's go to, in the left panel, while this is selected, we'll go to T_ground_grass. And I think it's the last option, right? This one, T_ground_grass_D is what we want. And we'll make another one. And for this one, we want T_metal_rust. We use that for dirt. Okay. And these top 2 are going to go into the base color. So we'll plug that there for grass, plug this there for dirt. And then, so that we don't have to hunt for the files again, we'll select those 2 texture nodes and press Ctrl W. So speed it up just a little bit. We'll plug these into the layer blend for the normal map, but we need to find the actual normal maps, which should be the next option in the list here, since the names are almost the same. So T_metal_rust_n. So at this point, the last thing we need to do here is set it up so that we can change the tiling of the materials to make it look bigger or smaller. And we can do that by right-clicking and typing in coordinate, texture coordinate, and then hold down the M key on the keyboard and left-click, and then hold down 1 and left-click. And then on this node here, let's right-click and convert to parameter. We'll call this grass tiling. So we'll plug it in like this. And we'll plug this into B. And then we want this to go into the color map and the normal map for grass. Let me just check and make sure that that's right. Yeah. And then we want to do the opposite, well, maybe the same thing for the rust map, except that we need to rename this parameter if we want to be able to control it independently. So let's call this dirt tiling. If we were to keep the name the same, anytime we update the grass tiling, it would update the rust or the dirt tiling at the same time. I think I've done that correctly. We'll see in a minute. Let me just back this up a bit. Dirt tiling goes into there and there. That looks right. Let's save this. And then we'll go back into our project. And let's select the landscape. And if we go into the right panel here where default physical material is listed, let's click on the drop down. And we'll just search for my_landscape. Let's do this easier. Let's just drag this on here. oh, sorry, I put it in the wrong spot. It goes to landscape material. And right, it's going to look very weird at first. We've got to make a couple of changes here. So let's go to the top left panel, landscape, and then let's click, make sure that the paint panel is turned on, and we see our layers listed here. Let's click on create layer info, and we'll go to weight blended layer. And I like to put all this stuff in my stuff folder so that I can find it later if I need to. It's going to take a second to create that file. Okay, and let's do that again for the dirt layer. Create layer info, weight blended layer, my stuff. And once that's finished, we can then set our paintbrush to be smaller. And then, so right now it went ahead and made the whole landscape grassy, but with the dirt layer selected, we can then paint across the surface. If our tool strength is set up to a decent amount, we can go ahead and paint across the surface to recolor it. And you can see that if we set our alpha to T underscore Perlin noise underscore M and drag across, it gives us the ability to more randomly apply a texture to the landscape. And there are a lot of other options you could play around with. Probably by setting the strength to be a bit lower and then going back and forth between grass and dirt, you can get it to look quite natural.